Khalil, thank you so much for being with me today.
Thank you.
So I understand you are the CEO of Vodacom, which is essentially connected the unconnected in DRC. Tell me more about the mission behind that.
So thank you for having me with you. And yes, Vodacom has been operating in DRC for a little bit over than 22 years.
Wow.
So we started at the very early beginnings when the country was still starting up, actually, the journey. We have around 21 million customers and around 10 million of GSM, which is financial services, M-Pesa customers. So we operate on the connectivity part, but also on the financial services, and of course for consumers and enterprise. So our mission is to connect for good, making sure that we don't leave anybody behind. So we work a lot of inclusivity, both for the urban areas, but also for the rural areas. We have a lot of focus on making sure also that our younger generation is included in both the connectivities, the digital era, and also the financial services.
Nice.
So that's in a nutshell what we're doing in Congo for the past 22 years and hopefully for the next decades.
Nice. So are you trying to be more inclusive at other continents or specifically just DRC? How are you trying to involve the company if you are?
Now, Vodacom is a Pan-African group, so we operate in South Africa, we operate in Egypt, and in East Africa. So it's a global footprint, but my prerogatives and my functions are limited to Vodacom Congo.
DRC, awesome. So are you in the belief that, with the Vodacom, how are you helping to make Africa in general more competitive?
So it's a long journey actually we started a while ago. So for us, for me, there are three levels of inclusion that we need to keep. First of all is the connectivity. In DRC, we're still around 50% penetration on GSM. So that tells us that we still have at least 50 million people to connect. So there's a lot of challenges for the rural part, and we have launched in 2013, so this is a little bit over 10 years ago, rural coverage sites to be able to give access to connectivity to the very far remote population.
Nice.
So that's from a connectivity perspective. Then we have the digital part. So we still have a challenge in terms of smartphone penetration, and we had the discussions a little bit earlier on how we need to have rules, regulation, and tax regime that improves the accessibility of smartphones to be able to deploy further 4G coverage to get the internet and digital penetration. And the third area is financial services. We believe that having most of the population included in the banking system, and we know it's a challenge to have everybody in our country with a bank account, so the stopgap for that inclusion is the financial services that we operate through M-Pesa. So those are the three main blocks of our action. Of course, the underlying behind that is making sure that we work on youth, we work on gender equality. We have a very strong roadmap also on our energy efficiency because we know that with the development of AI data center,
Right.
the energy will become a big challenge.
Yeah, I know you do things within mining as well.
We're doing a lot of things around this and a lot of digital literacy actions that we're doing. So we're working with different academies to make sure that we improve and upskill the new generation for the digital skills. It's already a challenge, but that challenge will become even more important with the acceleration of AI.
Nice.
So we're working on different programs like Code Like a Girl for the girls,
Nice.
Je suis Cap, which works for women living with handicap also, and also different cohorts of young people that we have partners with academies to improve and upskill them in the digital era, on top, of course, of all the things that we're doing for our own employees. So
Nice.
it's a wide range of activities, plus, of course, everything that we do for the difficult part of the country, the refugees and so on.
Right.
So it's a very
Very comprehensive. So you mentioned
action.
inclusivity a lot, youth a lot, and also just making sure everyone's connected, which is it's a global service that you're looking at, and it sounds like it's very impactful. What brings you here? Is it to tell people more about Vodacom, or to tell people to make more connections? What is your mission here at Unstoppable Africa?
So basically, for us, attending the Unstoppable Africa is making sure that we give a different narrative about Africa in general and DRC in particular. So DRC is a country, of course, full of opportunities and challenges that come with it. So the reason why am I here is to hear a little bit more about what we are doing in terms of regulation with the public sector, what we're doing also with the private sector to turbocharge the transformations that are coming our way, and see how we can close the gap between the challenges and the opportunities.
I love
So
it.
of course we're talking about inter-country connectivity,
Yes.
we're talking about digital inclusion with more devices, we're talking about financial services, we're talking about trying to build and share infrastructure among the different players in the country
Love it.
to get to a higher level of efficiency when it comes to the investment that we're putting in a country that is, I like to say it, as big as 7 times the size of Germany.
Wow,
So
nice.
it's a continent that we're talking about. It's not a normal country with 9 bordering countries, a very young population full of talent. So the opportunities are immense,
Yeah.
and we need to work on the challenges to make sure that we can close that gap
I love it.
and get more of the future
Nice.
DRC.
I like what you said, closing the gap between challenges and solutions
Opportunities,
and
yes.
opportunities.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. What is your personal commitment to making Africa unstoppable?
My personal commitment as the CEO of Vodacom DRC and the chairman of Vodacash, which operates the financial services, is to keep improving the connectivity, the digital literacy and empowerment of our consumers, our enterprise and our government, and making sure that we also push the agenda of the financial inclusion for the country and the continent. So that's my personal commitment.
Thank you so much for being with us.
It was a pleasure.
It
Thank you
was a
for interviewing
pleasure.
me.
Thank you.